Nongshim side, Caitlyn and the Elise going to mean that landing cocoons and traps and things like that will spell most of your health bar just disintegrating. And so Delight going to have that shield wall up as often as possible.
Blocking him completely, and just, there really isn't one. It's like, I hope Calyx makes a mistake. That's the best we can hope for.
Well, Peanut going to get engaged on here. Sorry, Lehen's going to get engaged on here by Peanut, as the cocoon is going to be traded. And Lehen's just buying time so that these grubs go over. There was a bit of a scuffle there towards the bottom as I was watching this spider scuttle away. And Gideon, he knows exactly what he wants. He eats the stun there as well, gorgeously. That's first blood, just nabbed by Lehen's. And Zeka now at 200 health. The noodles are really cooking well today.
Yeah, and I think Hanwha Life really shouldn't have tried to stick around and try to force a play there in the mid lane. And Peanut is also just dead, right?
Yeah, there's the flash over from Zeka, but the flash in answer from Calyx. Zeus will put down the rise and now looks for even more. Over and pay a visit to Peanut. He'll pick up a rock. And you can see Peanut not actually going to be able to stand his ground. Wall comes up here towards the top side as now Lehen's could be in trouble. The threaded volley comes down, but it splits off this spider, and it's going to be Viper taking out his former teammate.
All right, well, that's a successful play there on the top side.
Oh god, Bingen actually trading quite nicely here as the needlework going to be avoided.
Gideon's
making his way down though. And the Impale will be moved out of the way of, and now Zeus is going to turn it. This time no flash for Gideon, and this chase is just too good. The Realm Warp does come in, and now they're still in trouble. How is Zeus going to outplay this? That's the question I have on my mind. The answer is, I guess we just shoot him a bunch of times. As down goes the Gwen, he's immortal.
Ladies and gentlemen.
On the bottom side of the map, there is only a 3 CS difference.
I mean, Gideon, he was like, you die 100% if I put the Impale here, even if you avoid it, you're going to walk back towards the Glen. He still lives. Insane. He picked this knowing the Gwen was up. He was happy to do it.
Yep, Chains of Corruption going to connect here as there's a Glacial Prison as well. The Chain CC onto Calyx. He is trying to run his way out, but doesn't have flash, and that's Viper picking it up with a flash. He does indeed do so as the Weaver's Wall is now on cooldown as well. So the first dragon going to be in the pockets of Nongshim.
And they do not commit to try to contest the dragon, even though they had a little bit more help from Lehen's, as we're just going to trade soul laners hitting turrets.
Yep, and they knew that they were all going to be waiting there, but the Gwen is still going to die. Gideon gets into position, but not going to be able to find anything. The Impale comes out, he holds 2 in position, and Viper just kills him. So, despite the fact that this was all information that they had, they're not really going to be able to do anything about it, and that is going to be feats of strength going on over to HLE at the same time as they take first turret.
Yeah, this was just more power in the setup here for Nongshim, whereas Calyx and Lehen, sure, they're happy to trade. Best you can hope for right now. Viper on 3 kills.
Oh, Lehen's going to find him once again. This time, the Cocoon is not going to connect, and the Chains of Corruption does. So Viper just kills him.
Yeah, that was kind of what I was alluding to. I was like, Viper has 3 kills, so I don't know if you can find anything on him anymore. Lehen said, well, I'll give it a good old college try.
Yeah.
And
not sure about that.
Viper said we don't call it that.
Connected. And okay, Skana going to make his way in. Gideon going to see what he can find, as there is the flash having to be invested. Get out of the way of the Impale. So Gideon making that one work quite nicely. Realm Warp to try and get Calyx in there. But
just now, they both have TP for this dragon, as Peanut is going to clear this ward, and...
Yeah, and I think the Elise is dead, ladies and gentlemen. Not even given the option to use Repel, because he's just dead. Not even able to go into Spider Form.
Peanut was on the ward he was clearing. It wasn't a mystery. So he cleared the ward and cleared the Lehens.
Yeah. And that's a happy penguin, as that's going to be the end of that turret, utilizing the Rift Herald very nicely. And all of a sudden, this game went from being Nongshim had some like cool things that they were able to do to this game is really almost over.
Yeah, I think we know who the great challengers are in this one.
Yes. I'm starting to feel as well like perhaps the early plays from Zeus were a little bit much, as, yeah, Viper just kills it.
Super casual. No comments from him as he destroys Lehen's.
Lehen's, of course, is just happy to keep going in as he flashes, does get ignited and does go down to the last tick there from Delight. Zeus moving on over as well, as then the Impale does come on down. Do they manage to get it? And yes, it's Gio getting a really nice combo there. Now in the brush trying to line up these headshots, but I don't think Nongshim are going to have too much more. Zeka not even able to throw Gio through the rocks because Gio's already trying to get the heck out of there. And they will lose their top laner, but they sacrifice
target. I mean, Viper's got his Edge of Night. Like, who do you even kill here? How do you even get past Peanut?
Well,
good luck.
I think they're going to try and send someone.
They don't even have Realm Warp.
And Gideon is here, does have Smite, as now the Weaver's Wall to try and break them apart. Great seismic shove will connect at the same time as they're also able to take down the Otacon. I don't think you're supposed to be able to do that as Lahan's going to get slowed down by Peanut. He takes a lot of damage as the Grand Starfall does come in. I think these withdrawals are going to start coming through thick and fast, but there are some kills at the same time as Jiu trying to stand his ground, and it's not quite working. The flash out there is Zeus and Viper, though. I think Viper has had a phenomenal game so far. This guy's Varus has been so good throughout his entire career, but we're really seeing him be allowed to carry here for this team. 5-0-5 right now on this champion as Lahan's going to go up into the sky, try to avoid some things, but then gets hit by everything and the kitchen sink. As Zeus, he takes the turret shot, some sort of skill shot, but it's not going to take any more damage. Here as the seismic shove brings Kingen back into melee range with Zeka, and this is the state of the game. Yeah, Talia is happy to go face first into a Gwen.
If they had a wave, like we might actually be talking about this game is in fact ending now. As at least they get something back on the other side. They force the teleport. They will get this bounty.
Yeah.
And there's not going to be a punish here, but you know, I mean that's sure +1 thing that Nongshim got. 2 turrets, 3 grubs, 3 kills. The rest of the map is blue. The rest of your screen is blue. Lahan's is going to make it slightly less blue, but then...
Oh dear, he's just going to die. Wow, you blink and you miss it. He's 1-7, of course, 9. Going to drive on forward, looks for Zeka, doesn't get the wall stun though, as Delight also holding onto the engage option, but they do just throw the Skarner back. Zeka is himself actually kind of gigantic right now, 3-0-5. And you can see Gideon unable to really stand against him. As okay, Grand Starfall going to come on through. Delight going to be alone, though, as the Realm Warp going to be utilized. That brings Calyx over. Delight does kill the Skarner, but he trades 1 for 1. And maybe with how far Nongshim are behind.
A little fun. Calyx is not having a little fun.
No, this is, he's dead.
I really didn't think this was going to be the series that was...
Perhaps Kingen is also dead, as, he did have some mist for a few moments, and Viper did go relatively low. There's the flash forward from Lahan's. He knows! This is all he wants. Going to be around for too much longer here and not going to be contested by Nongshim either, as we have a 9,000 gold lead. It's almost 10.
I mean, this is not the series I thought that was going to look like this. I thought potentially it was going to be the DNF. Or that Hanwha Life and Zeus became Super Saiyan, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah, one of those is Peanut's going to get a cleanse out of Jiu, and they do manage to separate the Elise. It looked almost like they were apprehensive, like, do we have to kill him again? And the answer was they may as well. Impale going to come on through, but the seismic shove just pulls Viper out of the maw of death. Peanut there to stand in front of him yet again. Protect the president is absolutely right as Zeus dives in on top of Jiu, and Zeka will be able to finish him off. The Jace will be the noble sacrifice this time around, but the Nexus is still going to fall here, and HLE not pulling any punches here in round 2 as the sad B comes in for Kingen just before the Nexus does go down.
There are only 2 series wins separating Hanwha. Okay, that's all.
I kind of thought it was going to be Rakan because there was no way to stop it from being available. And now I guess it is just going to be blind top lane Nidalee, and then Peanut's playing his very famous
stable start down here in the bottom lane, as Gideon and Peanut look like they're going to have an interaction here.
Cool, headbutt pole. Lands onto Viper once more. Jiu not exactly offering too much back here, as now Kingen gonna have to move on down. Wind becomes lightning, and we'll see whether the Ambassador can get anything done now, as that is already a kill onto this Xin Zhao. Kingen trying to do it, but he does not manage to, and Calyx will finally get in and take down the pesky Nidalee. But once again, it's Zeus in a ridiculous position extremely early in the game, and they even get another kill. Zeka also finds himself...
He just wants to get one and get out. Get one and get out. Yep. He's not going to get it.
He just flashes on top of Zeka. They're going to see whether they can find it, but he does get out of the way of Lahan's. Now Calyx moves over once again. Gorgeous ulti. Of course Zeka lines it up, but Calyx has the answer. Wind becomes lightning, does a fair bit of damage, but it's not quite enough to get anything back, and now the re-engage comes through. They're looking for Peanut. Headbutt pole comes through, and there are still some charges on this Spirit Rush. Calyx going in, but it's 1 versus 3. Can he get the true damage? He does, but not quite.
Spirit Rush for the ensuing fight. Grub's going down alive. Gideon gets the first.
Yeah, headbutt pulverize onto just Peanut here, as Gideon gonna knock up Lahan's. Lahan's still alive, still thriving here, as we can see. Kingen moving over. The Banana Brush, great angle for a public execution, as now Calyx and Zeka fighting. Zeka with the inside track there as over they go. Kingen actually dancing around this fight quite nicely. Peanut getting taken low, Pulverize only onto one as the exhaust through onto Zeus. And Zeka getting pulled back with the charm, but they are just being separated. So ulti advantage now available for Gio as Kingen underneath the turret. Gideon gonna have to try and turn this fight onto Peanut before Zeus makes his way over. But the problem is, Zeus can pounce in from a very long way away and he gets his 4th kill of the game.
Yeah, this is starting to look like it's all over but the crying at this early stage as Calyx is the only good shining light.
Ulted by Zeka, and Zeka just finishes him off. That's a solo kill. And look at Calyx's face.
It's pretty hard to beat. Only Genji has done it so far this season.
Zeka giving the happy B to his former teammate. Actually, very, very
to see the Nongshim win. Zeus just doesn't care.
Well, he's going to get pulverized. Headbutt back.
Wait, maybe
come through there as there is June now chasing after him. Can he actually die? That is the question. Primal Surge is not enough, and there he goes. It is just ultimately this turret going down without any response on the other side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, basically everyone on Nongshim is trying to force a fight where they have a man advantage, where they have a disadvantage.
Too much damage from that one. Now has a Q that can clear the back wave. So is doing okay. Turret number 2 going to fall down though, and I have a feeling this is going to be a theme today.
Yeah, so remember when we talked about, hold on, we don't have time to remember.
There are a lot of people here around there. Flash, Spirit Rush Flash is pretty nice, and in fact, Delight is in trouble. Pulverize is gorgeous from Lahens. Really set up to make sure that he's down as Spirit Rush is going to get another charge, and another charm comes in, another Pulverize lined up, and Peanut could be in trouble. In fact, oh my God, I don't know how that worked.
TP though, TP maybe Kingen gets him, Kingen, how many dashes you got?
Well, he's Ambessa. He's got a lot. Is going to go for the public execution on Zeka. Wants that extra money, but Zeka able to ult his way out, and Peanut is a lumbering tree, and he is going to be able to walk it off.
Oh, and Zeka has the longest dash.
Yeah,
but he wants it. I don't know if he can have it.
Well, he's still going to be able to kill Peanut here, likely. Okay, never mind. Zeka is still alive. Still here. Let's get a nice little knock up as the charm comes through once again. Hey, so the answering kill is there.
Yes, okay. Zeus making a whole turret here because he's literally in the side lane. But
let's ignore this.
We did get one. We did get an outer turret and inner Schminner, you know? Who really cares?
Outer turrets are the ones that you really want.
Once Zeri gets 2 items and we're in a 5v5 team fight, we'll see how useful that really is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's going to be coming on over as Zeus with 2 items now done.
Yeah.
I would say that is...
The auto's coming through from Viper either, and that's just going to be a dead turret with Demolish.
Yep, 5 grubs.
It just seems like it's a team fight, like I was saying earlier.
Yeah!
We'll see how good that looks.
I think if you've got $1 billion gold, you're probably going to be fine. Is Gio just going to ult, and Gideon finds Zeka on the recovery, and that's a really, really nice kill to be picked up here. I don't know whether they're going to be able to get over and take the Rift Herald. That is going to be secured there by HLE as Public Execution gets Kingen in amongst it. Trying to keep them interested as best they can, but Lahen's getting lower and lower. Gio does not have the ulti now for this battle as Zeka gets into the back line, and Calyx will be able to spot him, even able to avoid the Nature's Grasp. Very nicely done. Now the quickness comes in. Lahen's does get charmed up. Delight will trade himself for it as Kingen trying to frontline it.
So yeah, it's starting to look a little bit more playable every moment that goes by.
And I kind of lost my mind. I thought Zeka found his way back into the fight, but he did not, as we've got another one brewing. Great charm from Calyx once again. Pulverize going to land onto both of the supporting cast of HLE. And Peanut struggling once again, but it's a double knockup. There's the ulti onto 2, and Zeka just surgically removes the Zeri from the fight. And that takes so much of the steam out of Nongshim. They're going to have to back away. Lahen's realizes he'll need to sacrifice himself as Calyx flashes right over the spear. Great charm is going to come through as now they're just desperately trying to keep themselves alive.
They're trying to look for the punish angles, but it's just not good enough. Calyx going in here super deep on the chain. He's trying anything he can. He is seen, unfortunately for him, and now is probably just dead. It's top of the morning.
Yeah, top of the morning too. It does deliver Peanut to the team. Charm is going to connect, but now Peanut taking it as an opportunity to engage. Gio going to turn up though. Can he get into the right position? That's the question. Calyx moves out of the way of Delight, but the quickness does so much work. Meanwhile, into the backline goes King and finds Peanut at low health as they just desperately want to get on top of Gio. He does skate his way out, as the spear is not going to connect. In goes Gideon, and Gio stands his ground. Delight!
And we're looking at a Cloud Soul point here, but it's not a Soul, so...
Okay, there's going to be a little crash into this turret. Gideon's slowed down, and now he's dead. There's just not really going to be much they can do about that one. Inner turret does fall down. Good Rift Herald value. A bit of a U-turn here from Peanut, as not entirely sure where he wants to go. He is also unsure himself, as he does just cruise into this mid lane to set up this turret for a kill as well, and I'll take that one down.
Nice driving. Yone, but the problem is every time they get an even trade, somebody loses a turret.
Yeah, and they're going to look for a Constellation Peanut here. Let's see whether they can actually collect that one. Exhaust onto Zeka to avoid that damage as Delight just going to play defense, and he plays it beautifully. Zeus now comes on over as Peanut eventually goes down. And it's now protect the president. Can they keep Gio alive is the question, as Viper has so many feathers doing so much work. Zeus and Kingen continuing to fight here, as now Viper with the feathers going to pull him back and take down the Xin Zhao. Public execution is not going to work here, as Zeus is tanking 2 turrets. He just flashes for the takedown and he'll collect it. And Gio, let's see what he can get done here, as Viper does fall down first. The feather recall almost secured.
Who's going to defend the base?
Yeah, this is the problem. You may have sort of kind of done okay in a team fight, but you have not won the war.
Yeah, every single time it's like, oh, and then a turret explodes.
Really having some issues as the Baron completely unseen by Nongshim. Gideon going to try and get in there. If they can steal this away, then maybe there's an angle, maybe there's an option, maybe there's a way. Let's see what they can actually do.
This is risky for Hanwha, honestly.
It is. That's a flash charm to come through as Peanut getting taken down so incredibly low. Delight got it back, but Zeka finds 3 with a huge ulti. Calix with his Zonyas though, and my god, this Ari is popping off, lands another charm. It's a triple for the young man in the mid lane. And now, maybe that chance for Nongshim's looking real.
Oh, it was all wombo, but no combo. Atlas, they got the knockups, they had the Yone ult, but there was no damage. And Zeka's going to come in here, but he's got nothing left in the tank. He's got to get out. That's a Baron, and this was such a risky call into the Zeri call.
Oh my
if you kill
god.
the Zeri, if you kill the Ari on the power play.
And the gold is within 2,000 now. It is actually going to get evened out as Kingen heads up towards his top side. He's got 3 items almost completed. Serpent's Fang actually coming in as the second option is kind of interesting. Lots of shields to be taken down though, you'd expect. Yeah. Especially if he's 1v1ing against Zeka in a side lane, so it's somewhat understandable. As there's a flash in from Peanut looking for Calix, but there's no follow-up, and Peanut is just dead.
I've seen this attempt before. We saw it earlier in the game, and Calix... yeah. That's the scary thing. Plus, Calix is playing out of his mind. He has 10 kills on the Aura, and he's looking for more!
Another charm is going to connect, and that is the nerf to the Yone at work, ladies and gentlemen. Zeka will be removed, and this turret is going to follow suit. Nongshim are going to win this game, ladies and gentlemen. It is happening.
Are just kind of running it down. Like, what is happening? Like, what was that? Why are you out there? Calix getting disrespected, and he's showing you why you should respect this young player.
10, 2, and 6. There's Redemption going to get Calix's health bar back, and you can see he is not scared to look for these flank angles. Spear not going to connect there either, as Lahen's his health bar very important. Kingen.
He doesn't have a great teleport angle as Lahen's going in.
Yeah, it's only a pulverize onto 1, and that's an ult onto 3 from Zeka, but he immediately goes down. They take the cow, and the Zeri has got 2. Public execution comes through at the same time as up goes the Zeri, and down she goes, but they've got more damage. Zeus is not enough. He is just one Nidalee against the world, and over the wall they go, and they take him.
Because he's basically full build on this Ari, he just does massive damage. He has the Shadow Flame, he's got the Death Cap, his moves, his juke. Baron, they may look to try to trade for 1 inhibitor. I don't think they can get 2, and even getting 1, I mean, they don't have a full wave here.
Yep, and there are pings out. This is HLE wanting to go for a trade.
They should probably use their Baron and power. He's just grouped with his team, and that's exactly where Nongshim want him.
Yeah, that is going to be inner turret falling down here.
20 seconds on Elder.
It's now a 5,000 gold lead for Nongshim. Not that gold really matters right now, as Lahen's just pressing the headbutt button because he can, as Calix is a madman. They have Elder Dragon, of course, so it's not exactly that crazy to go for fights, as Peanut sets up the Nature's Grasp charm. Not
make sure all 3 waves are at least at the midway point of the map before they do anything.
Well, Gideon actually going to go in, as there is the flash pulverize onto Peanut. Extendo beam coming on forward as Calix finds yet another gorgeous charm, and they end the jungler. And Zeus, he's on the bottom side of the map. Nongshim, they understand they need to send someone home. They could lose most of their base off the back of this one.
Zeus also backing.
Another beautiful redemption angle here.
Kingen has TP.
Another inhibitor turret to go down.
Hanwha are going to have to make an engage happen here soon. They're going to have to make a tough call. You can't actually push to get this inhibitor.
Well, that's a Hex Flash and Headbutt Pole, but Zeus just able to get himself out of the way there. The Orbit
Elder,
a lot of damage.
Elder?
With Lehens here, though, this is Zeus actually buying a lot of space. The Elder has been started as Redemption just to clear up the health bars of Lehens and Calyx, but can they get here in time is the question. As Gideon goes forward, he pulls Peanut out as the Twisted Advance comes on in, and it is the Elder secured by HLE. Now Kingen looking to get on top of Viper despite the fact that the Dragon's getting angry. And Calyx, can he be the hero again? I just don't think he can, as Extendo Beam not going to be taking down this tree. And despite everything that Nongshim were able to do, they just lose out on the Elder Drake because of a pesky kitty cat being annoying.
Zeus still just gets them, man. He still gets them. He still annoys them. He still ruins their day. He still outruns them. He outpaces them. He outsmarts them. And Zeka can defend the base as they push to end. 45 seconds till this Zeri comes up, and that is 45 seconds too long.
Yeah, no Baron, so maybe these minions are killable. The Calyx is really going to have to rely on these Nexus turrets, and Zeus is not going to let him. Charmy's going to go wide, and the Dragon is just burning him down. And I think Nongshim, I think they know that this was a decent effort, just not quite enough to take down HLE here today.
Zeus.
That's when it's all done and dusted, but my God,
weirdly,
look at that damage. And they lost with a gold lead.
Yeah, weirdly, no comms for that last play. That tells you enough that it was probably really heated in the moment, and how intense it was, how the game state had gotten to the point that it was. Hanwha Life probably yelling real loud and coordinating that last fight, but Zeus, not the team fight, Nilly, still does twice as much damage as Kingen on this pick. A lot of it just hitting Kingen repeatedly in the lane, but after what was a phenomenal performance from him in Game 1, I imagine he will, yes, in fact, be player of the match. And he is trying to gain on Chovy a little bit here. He's up to 500 points now himself.
What is it, 600 for Chovy at this point in time? It is.
Yeah, 600. Yeah, that's right. He got 600 in their last match, so he's just one series behind.
And you can understand why. Zeus has just looked real good. In this series especially, I think the Jace is the one that really pushes it over the line. And here it is, the POM standings. Gideon right up there with them as well at 300 points, as Zeus does collect another one as well. And so it was, I think Zeka is pretty close. I think he's sitting at 200. I mean, Gideon, last series, he almost made it to even.
Gideon, who just lost to Hanwha Life, is up there at 300. He's had so many big wins as well. And I feel like Hanwha eventually will stop getting away with it.
Yeah.
But if they keep getting away with it, they keep winning, and they're just still one series behind Gen G, and it feels like they can do no wrong. Even if they do a little bit wrong, it doesn't matter.
And also, that was a game 2. So theoretically, they just, say, oh, we didn't quite manage to do it, guys. Let's just get ready for the next one, hop over onto the blue side and finish it off. So they were never really under all that much stress. They really do like playing as many games as possible in series, as we learned from First Stand and LCK Cup. And so they're just fun to watch, man. For me, though, a lot of the story is about Nongshim, but let's hear from Zeus.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Dear for the POM interview translation, joined by Zeus on the side of Hanwha Life Esports. Congratulations! Thank you. The first match of round 2. Hanwha takes the win to secure a 9th consecutive victory. How do you feel? There are many rough patches on today's match, but it feels a little iffy, but I'm still happy that we were able to win today. And you've reached 500 POM points, right behind Chovy, who has 600 points. So does first place sound appealing? Chovy has been getting getting so many POMs. I haven't really thought much about it. In game 1, with Jace being left open, you locked him in blind as the B1 pick without hesitation.
일단 제이스 그웬이 둘 다 풀리는 상황에서
What did you think of them leaving Jace open?
생각해봤을 때 그냥 제이스가 좀 더 편할 것 같아서.
No, just thinking about what I could play well with in that game, I just thought that I would feel really comfortable playing Jace, so I think that's what really made me go with that pick. And looking at game 1, Jace usually takes Doran's shield or blade, but you started with longsword, so can you explain why?
제이스가 롱소드 3포션을 많이 샀었는데 요새는
I think Jace, there was a trend where he would start longsword and 3 potions.
좀 많이 괜찮은 것 같아서 했는데 대회에서는 좀
And I feel like there are so many options, but I tried practicing with this build, and I feel like it actually did work well, just as practice on stage. And we saw some insane movement from you in game 1. Do you remember this part? Yeah. Can you walk us through this? No, I knew that they were coming to gank me, and I was just really trying to figure out how to flip this around, and you know, it actually just worked. So you even managed to get their flash out here. Yeah, that's right. And you moved forward here, so was that intentional? Yeah, I think I was just trying to really drag them in and make sure that they
안 좋은 상황에서 최선을 다한 것 같습니다.
they overextend, and I think I did my best in the worst possible situation. And in game 2, you played top Nidalee, but during the draft, we saw both Yone and Nidalee, and the Silas hover made us wonder which player will play what. Some serious mind games there, and so were you open to playing top Yone at all? You know, top Yone as a blind pick is a little overwhelming.
저희도 그냥 뱀픽하면서 좀 OP까지 최대한
And during the
돌릴 생각을 했던 것
draft,
같습니다.
we did think about flexing all these picks until the very end, until the 5th pick. And game 2 had some feisty plays by Nongshim with the kill score being 24-24, and you guys actually fell behind dangerously with almost 10k gold difference. So which part were you most wary of? I think when the enemy had both Baron and Elder, it actually made us feel a little scared. And last time we almost lost against them, so it actually did feel a little disappointing.
최대한 상대방을 좀 귀찮게 하려고 했던 것 같습니다.
So I think my role for getting today's win was just to be a pest and just be as annoying for them to deal with.
그리고 이제 아까 안매치 때
And earlier, you know, Owner was doing his match interview, and we were actually, we heard you and Peanut whispering to each other behind Owner. So what were you saying? No, we're just setting up. And we can actually hear what they're doing and what they're saying during the interview, but we're just saying, why is it taking so long?
이 인터뷰를 좀 짧게 끝내기 위해서 혹시 제우스 선수도
So to keep this interview short, would you like to go ahead and give us a winning performance? We would like you to go ahead and do that.
시범 보여주실.
Can you give me a demonstration?
하나, 둘, 셋.
1, 2, 3.
감사합니다. 오너 선수도 좋았을
Thank you very much for that. I'm sure Owner very much enjoyed that. What a pleasant start to round 2 with a victory. You'll play all 8 teams again, so which team are you looking forward to playing the most? You know, we lost against Genji, and I think I do look forward to our match against Genji, and also against D plus Kia, because she was a really good player, so I would say that I'm really looking forward to those teams. And that's the end of the interview with Zeus, and back to the space. Thank you.